Hello and welcome to another episode of the Magic Kings podcast, brought to you by the great, big, beautiful dads, Steve and Mike. Mike, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Welcome back.
Welcome back. And one thing that, our listeners chimed in about the first episode is that we didn't actually explain why we call ourselves the great, big, beautiful dads, other than the obvious that it's just true.
It's true, yeah.
What is it a reference to?
So it is a reference to the Carousel of Progress, Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow, which is the theme song of Carousel of Progress, and my kids sing that basically every day in the car.
Let's sing it. Right.
So,
I'm gonna bring you in. Ready? Da-da-da-da-da-da.
It's a great big beautiful tomorrow. Yeah. Nobody wants to hear me sing. The subscriber numbers on this podcast just went down.
People are tuning out. They're changing the station. Is that how it works? I don't know.
I can sing every word of the song.
Oh yeah. It was written by the Sherman Brothers. Do you know them, Mike?
Yes,
yeah,
I do.
Richard Sherman.
Many classics by the Sherman Brothers.
That's right.
Mary Poppins, the Tiki Room. They did a lot of the classics.
And then one of the brothers went on to play for the Seahawks and have an illustrious career. Richard Sherman.
Really?
Yeah, Richard Sherman. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, the Richard Sherman. Yeah.
Little joke for the football fans out there. So welcome everybody, and I'm just to remind everybody, I'm Steve. I'm a travel agent focusing on Disney. You can get in touch with me, Steve, at JustAddMagicTravel.com, JustAddMagicTravel.com, and we'll get you going on a wonderful Disney trip for you and your family. And my services are free. You believe it? I mean, you can't beat that.
Can't beat it.
You can't.
That's awesome. And I'm just a regular old dad who's friends with Steve and just love talking Disney.
I roped Mike into this because I was like, I want to do this, podcast. And Mike, graciously is like, I'm all in. So
I jumped on it.
What could be better than having a Disney World podcast? I can't do anything.
Yeah.
So we wanted to continue to kind of introduce ourselves and just talk a little bit more about our perspective and how we feel about Walt Disney World. So we both came up with lists of the five top reasons that we love Walt Disney World Resort. You'll get a sense, last time we had the lightning lane round. This time we'll do this, and we'll hopefully, you'll know what kind of guys we are, if you don't already. So Mike, I'll leave it to you to kick us off with, do you have yours in any particular order? Or it's just a five?
It's a five. I think number one, I think I just did what was the biggest thing and most important thing to me. And then I kind of, go down the list, but they're all sort of, it's one A, B, C, D, E,
Totally.
Yeah.
I'm the same. I maybe have one or two that are the top, but they're kind of all together. So why don't you save the best one for last for you?
Okay.
And start with a different one, and I'll do the same, and we'll go from there.
Love it.
Let's have you kick it off. Let's do it.
All right. I'm going to go with my number five, and I'm going to work back to my number one. Here we go. My number five. I'm going with the easy thing to say is, the Disney rides, and I know you might talk about that later, but my thing on top of the rides is all the experiences and shows that you can see at Disney. Yeah. I love, one of the fortunate things about having an annual pass when I lived in Florida was I wasn't rushed to go get in line and get on every ride. It was really kind of interesting, a different perspective to be able to go and explore the parks a little bit, see some of the things that you wouldn't necessarily stop and sit down and enjoy if you're on the go. I loved sitting down with my kids in the Enchanted Tiki Room. They loved the Tiki Room. And even just some of the other shows at Hollywood Studios, there's the Frozen sing-along.
Yes.
There's the Beauty and the Beast stage show, which is incredible. It's really well done. Feel Our Magic with Mickey, that's a great one as well. So I'm going with the experiences and the shows.
That's awesome. I'll add to that too, because that's definitely up there for me. The nighttime shows, and even Fantasmic is just unbelievable. And then there's Luminous at Epcot. I just want to shout out the show's called Happily Ever After, but it's the fireworks at Magic Kingdom.
Oh,
and,
yeah, it's so cool.
You can see fireworks, in East Plainville, USA, right? But the fireworks at Disney are so good that like I almost think when people think about Disney World, they think about like those fireworks. That's how
That's
good
such
they
a
are.
that's such a great point. And I was thinking about shows at the parks, but like all the fireworks shows, they're all synchronized to music. They have the
Yep.
magic bands that now light up with the show.
Yeah.
It's just such a cool thing. And then that the Magic Kingdom show, they have the projection on
Oh,
the castle
yes.
that's literally like to the theme and has like a movie playing on the castle. They make it look like it's part of the show. So they do such a good job of just making it all encompassing, and you could see it from everywhere on Main
Yes.
Street, like in the town square and everything. So it's really cool.
It's just they everything is top notch. It's so great. All right. So I'm gonna go with something maybe another side of the same coin, the thrill rides.
Yeah.
And if you're like a roller coaster junkie, Disney World actually doesn't have the most intense roller coasters. I'd say the most intense is probably Rock and Roller Coaster. You could say maybe Everest, maybe even Guardians of the Galaxy, Cosmic Rewind. But there's bigger, more intense roller coasters in a lot of places. But what Disney does is the theming of the thrill rides
Yes.
in particular. I mean, everything in the
So
theming,
true.
and I'm sure we'll touch on the theming in every one of these things that we talk
Yep.
about. But I think of like the Tower of Terror is a
Yep.
perfect example. Like every theme park in America has a ride where you go up, and you do a big drop down. And those rides are all great, but it's really simple. You can imagine it, it's on like a big pole and you're strapped in and you sit and you go up and down. And it's a classic theme park ride.
Right.
And I would say the Tower of Terror isn't even necessarily in terms of the high octane, the height of it is probably nothing special. But it's the technology that goes into it, the care that goes into it, the theming, the overall experience, what puts you into it, the immersiveness of it, that
Yeah.
makes
Yeah.
it maybe the best ride I've ever been on. Period. And
There's
like,
so many of those at Disney
there's
too,
so
because you're
many.
just immersed in the story, right?
Yes,
That's such a great way to put it because they they really like as soon as you get in line, they set you up for
yes,
not just a roller coaster ride, not just a drop like you said, but you're in a story. They tell the tale. They do the little pre-show that
right.
sets the stage. I was thinking when you were talking about Tower of Terror was also the new Star Wars Rise of the Resistance ride. Like
Yes,
the first time I rode that, I was like, I'm I'm in Star Wars. Like
yes.
I'm in it was so well done. Like I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. I'm in Star Wars right now. And I was like having like a little like fangirl moment because I was like, oh, we're going to another planet. Like it's like, what is happening? This is amazing. So yeah, they do such a great job. Everything that they do is like that, and it's really cool.
Even something too like Space Mountain. I mean, Space Mountain is. Have you been to Canopy Lake Park? We're from
Oh,
New England. Have you ever been on? There's a roller coaster there called the Yankee Cannonball. It's a
oh
great
yeah.
little. It's a wooden. It's a great roller coaster.
Old
It's
school wooden roller coaster.
yeah,
It's great.
it's
You get the
super fun.
clickety clack as you're going down. Yeah.
Exactly. I looked it up. That ride goes faster than Space Mountain. Space Mountain
It's
is
crazy.
slower than the Yankee Cannonball in
Oh
a,
man.
just a nice little theme park in New Hampshire.
Yeah,
Space Mountain feels 10 times more intense because you're in the
it
dark, and
does.
it's the
Yeah.
theming, and they just thought of everything. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the thrill rides as my
I love
as
that.
my
Yeah.
first one.
And I want to just call back to Space Mountain. It just made me think of the last time I was on that. I'm tall, but I'm not as tall as you. I'm 6'2"
Wow,
and or 6'1", maybe a little bit
I'll give you six
more than
two.
6'1". Give me 6'2". All right, great. And like Space Mountain, I loved it as a kid. I was so excited to go on it, and as an adult going on it, I was like, I don't think I can put my arms up in the air. Like,
I
I
know.
think my arms might get like I can't see what's going on. Like, but it feels so intense because of the way they've set it up and the way and such a great point.
So that's my answer. Thrill rides. All right.
I'm gonna go on to my next one, and I'm calling this the little things.
Mm.
Okay. Number one is the autograph books for the characters with my
Yes.
kids. It's such like a little small touch, but the way that all of the characters sign the signature the same way, and like they're all prepared to have the signature books. It's like it's just a fun thing for the little kids to do because they're like getting autographs from their heroes and some cool characters.
Yes.
The next one. which I just started getting into like the last couple trips we took, is the pin trading. And
Mm.
I got down a little bit of a rabbit hole with some people that I like. We started doing it with the kids. We got them a couple pins to start, and we were doing it. And then I ran into somebody that was like an older gentleman who had the jacket decked out with the pins. He had the lanyard. He was like, he had his book of pins and he was like walking around doing pin trading. And I just talked to him for a couple minutes and it was just like, he was like, I just love it. Like, it's just so cool. Like, I get to talk to people, other Disney fans. I get to show like really cool old pins. Like, there's some I wouldn't ever trade, but I bring them with me because I want to show people like how cool these are. So my kids really started getting into that. And then I didn't realize it's like literally every store you go into, every kiosk, they have pin trading stations like all over the parks, all the hotels, everything. So that one was really cool. I don't know if you've gotten
Just
into that at all.
when I was like a teenager, I did it like a little bit. But can you explain a little bit like I think you mostly did, but like
Yeah, that's a great
how
point.
it works?
So what you do is you could purchase pins at any of the gift shops, and they're just little like hat pins. They have a little backer on them and everything, and they have all kinds of cool designs. But there's also like collectible designs, and so there's different tiers of things. But essentially, what they do is if you have pins, you can go anywhere in the park that has a pin board, and you'll see them. There's a Mickey shaped pin board, and they'll have a bunch of pins on them. They'll be at the stores, they'll be at the hotel front desk. They have them all over the parks in different places, and essentially, like you can just go up to any of those boards and trade one of your pins for a pin on the board.
So
So
cool.
yeah, it's so cool. So like you could, if you've got two, Winnie the Pooh pins and you want to get something else, you could trade one of your Winnie the Pooh pins, whatever it is. And then there's private people that will trade too. Like I mentioned, the older gentleman who had his pin book, and he's like, usually people will wear like a lanyard with a bunch of pins if they're like open to pin trading. So you start conversations with people too, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But the park sets it up. Like Disney sets it up so that like you can literally like you don't have to talk to anybody if you don't want to, but you can go in any store and see what they have on the pin board and decide if you want to do a pin trade or not. So it's like it's a cool little thing just to get engaged in something different.
That's awesome. Yeah, and it's isn't it the case where if you go up to a cast member and you want to trade a pin, I've heard this. I don't know if it's true. They are sort of like obligated to trade with you.
Yeah, I've never like forced anyone to trade,
Sure.
but they
Yeah.
usually are like super willing. Like they'll either have a pin board or they'll have pins on their lanyards, and they're like, "Oh yeah," like 'cause they want to engage with the kids. Like they do such a great job with that. So, yeah, so I've definitely run into that, and sometimes they'll even start a conversation with you. Like if your kid has, like my twins have a lanyard and there's some pins on it, like. One of the cast members came up and was like, "Oh, those are really cool pins. Like, check out mine." Like, just like start the conversation and get them engaged and like see if they have any interest in any of the stuff. So I think it's just a cool thing to, you know, get your head out of your phone and look
Yeah.
around and enjoy some stuff at the parks. It's
That's
cool.
awesome. Any other little things?
Yeah, my last one is sort of silly, but I mentioned it earlier, is like the way that they've done the magic bands is just so simple with everything. Not only can you enter the park and pay and do all the stuff that you need to do, like Lightning Lane and all that stuff with your magic band, but they synchronize all the shows with the lights to your magic band. So when the fireworks shows are going off, your magic band will light up in different colors. And then one of the cool things that they've done recently is they call it the Disney Fab 50 Quest. Have you done this?
No. Oh, with the statues?
With the
Yeah,
statues.
yeah,
So if
yeah.
you
Talk
go
about that. Yep.
around, if yeah, so if you go around, all the parks have little golden statues of all the Disney characters set around the park. And if you're wearing a magic band and you actually wave at the character will play a song or a saying, like it'll actually like interact with you. It doesn't move, it's a statue, but they have like a song will play or the character will say something, one of their famous lines. And as you go, it basically collects that statue in your My Disney Experience app. So you can like go back and see all the ones you interacted with. It's just like a cool little thing because it's like the kids go up and start waving at the statues, and you hear, Olaf starts singing,
Yeah.
about being a snowman. So it's like it's cool stuff that you can just do. Like it's almost like a treasure hunt around the park. So that's
Yeah.
one of the little things that I noticed in the last couple of years hanging out at the parks.
Kids couldn't love anything more than
I
that.
know.
The little things are. is what makes Disney for sure.
There's
I
so
love
many
that.
more. Those are just the ones that really stood out to me as like
Yeah,
things I've interacted with and enjoyed in the past couple of years going with my kids.
totally. I love it. Um, I'm gonna say, and this honestly might be like the reason I love Disney World the most, maybe, and it's the cast members. People talk about this all the time, but it's just so true. I just want to like talk about a couple of things with cast members. One is there are just so many of them. And what I mean is like when
Yes.
when there's like a long line and somebody needs to hold a sign to tell you like where the end of the line is, like there's a cast member holding that, and then there's a cast member near them to like tell you what's up. If you go to a ride, there's three people standing there to help you. There's people monitoring the stroller parking, which is
Yes.
obviously important for us. There's people, this like if you're at the resorts, there's so many people just around sweeping, and there's so many
Yep.
cashiers. I mean, it's
So true.
crazy. And so
Yep.
it's just so well staffed, and it makes things so much easier. And everybody knows the customer service you get at Disney World is just top notch. I mean, everyone
It
is
is.
is not only great in terms of being helpful, but they're knowledgeable, and they will really try to make
Yes.
sure that you have a great experience. That if they can do
Yep.
something for you, they will. But there's also just a tone that all cast members have. They're not stressed out, even if they're
Yep.
so busy. Like I remember going to like a Bell Services. I think I was picking up a stroller or something at my resort, and this guy was working. So he was going back and forth. He was working so hard. Not a young guy, just I could tell he was like beat down, and I had to wait kind of a while, a little, probably 10 minutes to just pick up a stroller. And when he came up to me, he just had the biggest smile on his face. He was calm. He was not rushing. If that was me, I'd be like, "All right, what's next? Come on, like, what do you?
Yeah.
Okay,
Let's
I'll
go.
grab it
Let's
for
go.
you."
Yeah.
And he makes you feel calm, right? Not that I
Right.
was agitated at all or anything, but
Right.
I understand he's working hard. But like, I don't know. There's just they take their time, but they're not like being slow. They're just like they're being efficient, but they're nice. It's just like they set the perfect tone and it's true of every cast member. So
Yes.
I'm just gonna
Yes.
shout that out.
I love that. And it's so true because you should never be confused or like anything anywhere in Disney because there's always somebody around that can answer your questions
Yes,
or is already like they've already thought of everything. So it's like it's so well thought out to that point, well staffed. You never like trying to figure out what's going on because there's always somebody there to tell you or answer your questions or be, super helpful. And
absolutely.
yeah, I love that one. The cast members at Disney World are incredible.
They're great. They make it. Shout out to them.
I'm next here. Here we go. Now we're getting into the good ones here. We're at my top three here. These are my top tier, and I'm gonna go next with the food. So we have talked on this before about my love for food in general, but I don't think I've ever had a bad meal.
Yeah.
From a hamburger at the quick serve restaurant to any of the sit down restaurants, any of the character dining, all you can enjoy buffets. Uh, they're just top notch. It's like really good quality. The service is always great. Back to your cast member call out.
Yeah.
I love the food, and there's just so many different options. Especially if you think about Epcot and World Showcase, where you can have cuisine from all different places, and it's like the best. Like you go to Mexico, it's like the best Mexican food. If you go to
Yes.
Japan, it's like the best Japanese food, the best sushi. You go to Canada, you get like a legit steak at the Le Cellier Steakhouse. Like there's all the great options. French food and France is top notch. Italian, you get pizzas out of the brick oven. It's like they really go over and above, and there's so many good options in all the parks. And I mentioned Crystal Palace with Winnie the Pooh and
Yep.
Tigger and Eeyore and Piglet. But like it's an all you can enjoy buffet, but it's like the best buffet I've ever been to. It's like they have a
Totally.
prime rib carving station. You're like, I'm in Disney World, I'm in Magic Kingdom, and I'm having prime rib and like these awesome dishes at a all you can enjoy buffet. It's like incredible. And my kids are having the time of their life. It's just like so many good things that on top of the food, it's just like great experiences. Going back to your rides comment, your thrill rides, it's the same with the food experiences. Like you're fully immersed wherever you go. Any of the restaurants that are themed. One of the coolest things is if you go to I'm blanking on the name. It's the ride. It's
Oh,
rodeo.
Roundup Rodeo Barbecue.
Roundup Rodeo Barbecue. The You're like in Toy Story,
Yeah,
and like they go, "Oh, Andy's coming," and everybody freezes. Like even the people eating are like, "I'm in Toy Story. I'm gonna freeze." the,
I love it.
the waiters will just stop mid. They'll be carrying a tray, and they'll just stop. It's like the funniest thing ever. It's so good. So the food, not just eating the food and having delicious food and great service, but all the different experiences that you get with it.
I love it. And I'll say too, I think this is something that I think people nowadays and like social media and everything has fed into this talk about the snacks a lot. And I have to agree that
Yeah.
like this, I think that's something that has gone way up since we were kids. I don't know if you agree with that or
Yes.
not, but
Definitely.
that
Yeah.
yeah, it's just the options in terms of snacks and the quality of like you can get the cheeseburger spring rolls and the
Yeah.
all the different Dole Whips and all the there's just
Such
the
a good point.
the stuff at
Yeah.
Gaston's, the like cinnamon rolls and all those kind
Right.
of things are. I feel like those that they're always improving in that food area, and like snacks included. So yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah. It's not just the Mickey ice cream bar anymore. Like there's
right,
snacks everywhere that'll blow your mind. Quality that rivals any five-star restaurant that you go to, in my opinion, a lot of these places, it's just awesome. It's top notch.
absolutely, couldn't agree more. All right, I love that one, and I love food too, man.
Yeah.
I'm getting hungry. Okay, all right, I'll go next. I'll go with the transportation. And this
All
this
right.
feed, this feeds into like just the immersiveness, and I think you'll probably touch
Yes.
it. We've touched on it, I think, in every single one of these in some respect, but the convenience of being able to not have a car. If you want to have a car, you can. It's actually quite easy to have a car, especially if you're staying on property. But I don't really like to rent a car personally when I'm on vacation, especially at Disney. It's nice not to have to, and I believe we talked about the Skyliner, which is like
Yes.
such a game changer. You got the monorail if you're over at those resorts like Grand
Love it.
Floridian and Polynesian and Contemporary. And I think the Skyliner though in particular has spoiled people so much because so many people stay at like Pop Century and Art of Animation and Caribbean Beach that they've gotten used to the Skyliner, and it's spoiled people. The buses, I mean, don't get me wrong. If you're gonna make me choose Skyliner or bus, I'm gonna choose the Skyliner. But
Yeah. Yeah.
the buses are great. I mean,
They
it's
are.
I never rode on anything but a bus until relatively
Right.
recently when the Skyliner and everything. And it is so convenient to like, oh, I can just hop on this bus and get right back. Maybe gotta wait a little bit, but like, I don't know, just being able to have that. They're always air conditioned, and again, it's
Yes.
cast members driving the buses. You get
It
friendly
is.
people, character, like people who just not actual
Yep.
characters. It's not like Pluto driving the bus, but like people just who are friendly and will talk to you and whatever. And I don't know, I
Absolutely.
like when I am like nostalgic about like I want to go to Disney. I'm often like on a bus in my mind, like I want to be
Yeah.
heading to Epcot on a bus. So yeah,
Yeah, it's not only that too. Like, I mean, if you're at one of the hotels that's not on the monorail or on the Skyliner, like we
right,
stayed at the Coronado Springs Resort, which is like a huge resort, and it was awesome. It's like really cool. I think they have conventions there, so there's a lot of convention stuff, but it's only serviced by the buses. But they have six bus stations at the hotel.
yeah,
And like so like you're not it's never crowded, and they run on like every 5 minutes
right.
really. The bus is just constantly going. I also do want to shout out the parking lot tram because that's
Oh
my kid's
yeah,
favorite ride when we drive. It's like, are we riding on the tram? So this is like a weird living in Florida thing when we lived down in Florida was if you get there early enough, like you park right next to the entrance to the ticket and transportation center. So like they don't even like bring the tram around, and it's like we're here before anyone else. But the kids are disappointed
yeah.
because they can't get on the parking lot tram. So like
They
sometimes,
missed their first ride. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So sometimes you gotta just come a little bit late so you can get the go on the parking lot tram.
You might be shocked by
Uh,
this. I've never ridden on a parking lot tram. It was not my choice, but I stayed off property once.
okay,
Um, I was there around our mutual friend's wedding, which was in Florida,
gotcha.
and we
Yep.
were staying at a family condo, and it was not my choice. And I had never stayed off property. It was the only time I ever did, and I didn't even know that you didn't get dropped off, that you didn't park right at Magic Kingdom. I'd been to Disney World, I don't
Yes.
know how many times. I didn't actually
Yes.
even know that. And I get to the place, I'm like, what? We have to
Yeah.
take a monorail or a boat
Yeah.
just to
Yep.
get there? And it's like, I step out of the car, it's like 40 minutes until I'm at the park. I'm like, what is going on?
That's
I hate
right.
this. And,
That's a
and,
good call out.
and
Yeah.
then it happened to be around, I guess they stopped the trams like for a while, like around COVID, and the
Okay.
trams were not running. And I didn't even, so we were walking, schlepping from our car, and I was like, this is the
Oh
worst.
man.
Now I know about the trams, and so it wouldn't have been quite as bad. Obviously, and had I known, I would have planned for it. But
Yeah, that's a great point. And another thing too that you just kind of touched on was if you go to Magic Kingdom by car, you end up at what they call the Ticket and Transportation Center.
right,
So if you arrive by monorail or by, I believe the buses drop off right at the front too.
they do, yeah,
But if you arrive by car, you end up, it's like a mile away from Magic Kingdom almost.
yeah. You
And so
can't walk;
you're either, no, you
it's
can't
over
walk.
water. Yeah,
It's over water, and you can either take the ferry boat, which is actually a great option. I don't know if you've ever done that.
yeah.
Kids love
I
that one.
haven't taken that one yet, but yeah,
Ferry boat's really cool. You go over the lagoon and you go right up to the front of the park, or you get a monorail. You get to experience the monorail. I think that's probably part of the reason they did that is so that you actually get to ride, the original Disney transportation, the
right,
monorail.
yeah. And it was, I guess, because Walt Disney, maybe you've heard of him.
Yes.
He didn't want there to be a parking lot at Disney World. So that was his thing where it's like we'll put the cars far away. And now I notice like at the other three parks, if you take the bus and you get dropped off there, you don't see the cars. Like I never saw a
Yes.
car before I drove to Disney, and they've
Yep.
done a great job of like hiding them.
Mm.
But Walt like took the extra step and said like let's put them a mile away, which wild. But
Yeah,
anyway,
and fun fact, that lagoon that is like a full ferry boat fits in it. Like a legit ferry boat is man-made. It's a man-made lake, and they've got boats and everything on it, and it's just so crazy the amount of engineering and ingenuity that went into the creation of the parks.
so true. Yeah, that's a whole other deep dive we got to get into sometime. Yeah, like what went
Yeah.
into because that's crazy. But yeah, so yeah, shout out to the transportation. I'm all about it.
Yeah, and so this is a great segue into my next one, which I'm calling the Disney bubble, which I
Oh
think is probably
yeah,
what everybody calls it. So, and by the Disney bubble, I mean being on property at one of the Disney hotels is a must. And the fact that you can go park at your hotel at the beginning of your vacation and never touch your car, or take a bus from the airport, take a cab from the airport, or a minivan. I don't know if you've heard of
no,
this. They
I've
have
heard. Oh, I sure have.
the partnership with Lyft. They
Yeah,
have what they call the minivan. It's actually like Suburbans that are decked out in polka dots, and it's
yeah,
it's really funny. So you could park or show up at your hotel and then never set foot in your car the entire time you're on
yeah,
your vacation. It's incredible. Not only that, the transportation, which we already talked about, being in the Disney bubble, just everything is so precise, and the service, like we talked about earlier, is so great. There's characters everywhere, there's themes everywhere. You can do the little things that we talked about with the pin trading, the magic bands. Everything is all part of the same, experience, and they do such a great job with it. A lot of the hotels will also have a character dining experience. So the characters will show up at your hotel if there's a
yeah,
restaurant on site, and then just being by transportation. All of the hotels that I've stayed at have very similar like things you can do, right? One, they all have awesome pools. Like every place
yes.
that I've stayed has incredible pools with water slides and like cool things like the kids really enjoy. A lot of them will do s'mores. Like they'll have a hour or
Ooh,
two where they have like a fire pit and they'll roast s'mores, and they have cast members out there like giving you marshmallows and helping kids like roast their marshmallow by the fire.
it's so awesome.
Live music at the pool or at the restaurant. There's just so many cool things. They have movie night like outside. If you want to call it early night and you get back by like 7:30, they usually have like a big blow up screen on property with a movie playing. I think almost at every hotel that I've been to, it does that. So like just the consistency across all the places, not just in like things you can do, but the service levels are so great. Everything is all in one on your vacation. You're in the bubble. right? So
Yes.
like everything is there for you. There's just so many cool things to talk about. But if you know, and if you want to experience it, the best way to do that is to contact my friend here, Steve,
Wow.
who can, hook you up with a great vacation package. And it's all included, right?
That's true. Yeah. Well, thank you. Thanks for the plug. No, but it's true. I mean, I just talked about my like staying off property, and like there's plenty of nice condos. I didn't happen to stay in one, but there are plenty of nice places to stay off property. But like
Right.
it's not only the convenience, but everything just Mike just said. You're in the bubble and you feel it. This is going to feed into
You
my
feel
next
it.
one, but
You feel yes.
that is part of what is included in the experience. So, yeah, I'm gonna go into one. My next, I think this is my fourth one, and I called it on my notes here. You can't help but buy in to Disney World when you're there, and what I mean is it's about the theming, it's about the bubble, but like you can imagine, it's a theme park. It's hot and humid in Florida. You know, there's gonna be some grumpy Gusses who are like, I don't want to be here. I'd rather be on a beach, or I'd rather, be watching the game. And, oftentimes I'll feel like that in life. But at Disney World, if the Super Bowl was happening when I was in Disney World, I honestly don't think I would care. I would be like, I'll watch it some other time. Like, I just like, I'm there. I'm in. Like, I am,
Yes.
like, I'll see people like it'll melt your heart. Like your cold stone heart. Like you will just be caught up in that magic if you just give it a little bit. It's like you can get a hat that has like goofy ears down the side. You know what I mean? And I'm like, when I'm at Disney, I'm almost like I should buy that, and like when I'm home, I'll actually wear that because that's actually a cool hat. And like when I'm at Disney, I like lose my mind because I'm just like, yeah, this is great. Like I'm in. And then like it's like you're in like this fantasy world, but in like a good way. You get swept up in it, and I love that. It's like there's very few places. Sometimes when you like go to a new place, you can kind of get that like, oh, I'm immersed in the culture and stuff. And it's a great, just generally it's a great part of traveling. But at Disney World, it happens. It's so easy for that to happen, and it is
So
just
true.
so great. Yeah,
So true. I think so. I'm not a morning person, but I am up at like 5:45 on Disney
absolutely.
days, and I'm ready to go. I'm getting all my, all my stuff ready for the day. The kids are still sleeping. It's still dark out, but I'm ready to go.
Yes.
It's just a whole different ball game. It's so easy to be part of it and have a great time and just, forget the world outside. Just enjoy the trip. And that's a great segue into my fifth and final.
Wow.
And so mine is just a general feeling and just something as I'm getting older and what we're in our late 30s here, but
I'm in
um
my early 20s, but okay.
early 20s, yeah. Um so you probably heard the term core memory.
Yeah.
So this is something that I'm getting nostalgic now that I have four kids and I'm doing these experiences with my kids, but I still have core memories that I will never forget. Things from my childhood, going to the parks with my parents and my grandparents, just like really cool things that now I can go and like experience those with my kids. And like it's funny because I'll like set them up to see things that I remember from when I was a kid, like just like, hey, let's go over here, let's see what this is all about. And I'm like, I know what's around the corner, but they don't know. And I'm like,
Right.
oh, this would be something that we could check out that might be cool. And like then it just blows their mind, and I'm like, oh, that's so awesome. Like I'm so happy that they have these memories that they'll hopefully one day, experience with their kids and their grandkids that I had with my parents and grandparents. So it's like it's just so great to set core memories with my kids that I have from childhood. And it's so sappy now, but like it's so true. Like and all the things that we talked about on this podcast today really play into that. There's just so many little things that like it's like burned into your memory forever. And so I'm really fortunate that I get to make some of those memories with my kids too. So not to get too emotional, but it's just awesome.
No,
Things I've loved. thought about all my life. I get to, let my kids experience now with me, and just see the smile on their face. It makes it all worth it.
Absolutely. No, it's not sappy at all. It really is what it's all about. Like it there's no better place to have those moments of like you are totally with your family. Like you can do that on a Tuesday, you know what I mean?
Right.
There's those moments, but at Disney World it's so easy to do that and it's just set up to do that, and especially if you
Right.
had those experiences as a kid. I mean, it's funny when you were talking about that. I was thinking of the first time I rode Tron Light Cycle Run. It was a new ride,
Yes.
and I was there with my sister and her now husband, and my wife and daughter, and the only ones who were going to ride it were me and my brother in law. So we've split off from the group, and my daughter and wife and sister like rode Winnie the Pooh and like met Pooh and Tigger while we were waiting and doing the ride. Tron is like it's one of the best rides. Like it was a fantastic experience. But
It's
then
great.
I'll often like look at the pictures they took from like the Winnie the Pooh ride and like meeting Pooh and Tigger, and I was like, oh, I kind of wish I'd been there like instead of riding like the best ride, you know.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
is like it's like the I mean, Thrill Rides was on my list, and Tron is no exception of terms of theming and immersiveness. But like, there is actually nothing better than like being at Disney with your kids and seeing that experience. Like,
Yes.
it's way better than just doing the rides as great as they are. So,
Yes. Yeah.
so I'm with
Yep.
you. Yeah, that's a good number one. That probably should be my number one. Mine looks dumb in comparison, but that was a
It's all
good
right.
one.
We could share it. It'll be a
Let's
shared
share it. All right,
one A,
all
and then
right.
you can.
I'll
Yeah. There
take
you
it.
go.
This is my number two, but I just am doing it last. So, and this one I say just because it's related to why I decided to become a travel agent and help people with Disney. So I have in my notes that Disney World is something that you can master. And what I mean is it's like following or playing sports in a way. So stay with me for a sec. So
Yes.
I'm a
Oh,
sports
I know
guy
what you're
as
saying.
as are you, right?
Yes. Yep.
All the stats, all the storylines, the transactions. I knew all the coaches, all everything, deep knowledge. And what I like about sports leagues, in the NBA, there's 30 teams. That means that there's 450 players, there's 30 coaches. You know what I mean? You can kind of, it's a lot, but you can kind
Hmm.
of get a handle on it. But there's always a little more that you can learn. You will never know everything, but you really can get your hands around it and feel like you're kind of an expert if you kind of put the time in. Um, and Disney World is like that. It is one place, but every trip you take is different. There's also just so much. Obviously, there's four parks, but there's Disney Springs. There's 25 plus whatever it is resorts. There's all the other areas. You can golf, mini golf. You can do the ESPN area. You can do whatever.
Water parks too.
Water parks. Jeez, yeah,
It's
of course.
so many things.
And every ride, every show, it's like, oh, you could sit here or you can do it at this time of day, and so you can get a handle on it and get your arms around it, but there's always something a little more that you can learn. And I feel like I have gotten like I have with like the NBA. I
Yeah.
know Disney World, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And
Yep.
I just love that about it. It's funny, like we went once and there was a guy, he was a single guy, probably in his 30s. We were riding Pirates of the Caribbean. Very nice guy. I got to talking to him a little bit when the ride was over, and local guy, annual pass. He's like, I come after work like most nights, whatever. And I said to my wife, I was like, I'm jealous of this guy in some ways, but like he's riding Pirates of the Caribbean for like the thousandth time. Like, can he like possibly still enjoy this? And she's like, it's like sports. She said that.
Yeah.
She's like, it's like watching a basketball game. It's the same every
And
time,
it
but it's
clicked.
different. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, and I was like, that's exactly it. And people, like, if you're a novice, if you don't watch the NBA every day and you watch a game, you don't really know anything, you can be like, you can enjoy it, but you can kind of be
Exactly.
lost or not really know. And that's where I
Yep.
would kind of want to come in and help people to say, let me kind of guide you through this a little bit. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you want to do. And I'll use my knowledge I'll be your coach.
Yes.
I'll be the Joe Mazzulla, who, by the way, I played middle school basketball with. Shout out to Joe Mazzulla. He's the Celtics coach.
Love it.
Yeah.
I
So,
did not know that. Fun fact. That's
oh
great.
yeah, fun fact. Yeah, he's from Johnston, Rhode Island. I'm from
Nice.
the next town. So shout out to him. But anyway, that's my that's my last one. What do you think?
I I love that. I think you sold it a little short, and I think that one is awesome and kind
Wow,
of like
what a nice
deeply
guy.
thoughtful. I'm
Wow.
gonna no, it's so true because I didn't even think of it, but like we spent a lot of time, we probably went at least once a month when we lived in Florida and other trips before that, and it's like you really do like you start to like learn your strategies and how you want to play the game and
Right.
like okay when I like I've told you like my Epcot strategy and like oh I go you go in the back entrance you
Right.
get right on Ratatouille like I have a whole game plan. It's like
Right.
I know what I'm gonna do and like it can change like it depending on like oh that ride's down or there's a long line so okay we're going to plan B. It's like you got to be on the fly. You got to know you know your routes on getting different places. It's like all right well we're 5 minutes away from that ride, but we could go this way and hop in this show. It's like it's so true because you start playing chess instead of checkers, but you could still have a ton of fun even if you don't know those things. But it's really cool when you've got somebody that knows some of those tips and tricks. Like we went recently with my family, but we went with my sister and her kids too, and they're from not from the area. They live in Wisconsin, so it's like they get maybe once a year or less frequent than that they get to come down. And so like I planned the whole thing because I was like, all right, this
Right.
is what we're gonna do. We're gonna get on all these rides because I know all the strategies. We gotta be here at this time and we're gonna go to lunch over here. So like had a whole game plan and it was awesome because I knew all those little tips and tricks and there's so many things even now there's things that I don't know about that'll surprise me, and it's just that makes it that much more fun. So like even the guy that goes on Pirates of the Caribbean every day after work, it's like, well, maybe he sees something different. He finds a hidden Mickey or whatever it is. Like there's all these little things that you don't think about that when you go off and you get to kind of experience different things. So love it. I love
I
that call
agree.
out.
No, that's totally it. So that's my list. That's who we are, guys, listeners.
That's who
That's
we
what
are. Yeah, we're sappy. No, I'm just
we're
kidding.
pathetic. No, we're good guys.
Yeah.
We're good guys.
I read something recently. It was like Walt Disney used to go to just an amusement park with his daughter. And
Yes.
he was like, I can't ride on any of these rides. Like I'm just here watching her. Like I want to be in this together with my
Yes.
daughter. He was like, I'm gonna make my own park and it's gonna be fun for everybody, no matter what. And
Yes.
his vision has come to life.
Yeah, no, I've heard that quote. He's like, "It's all I was a daddy with two daughters and I was like sitting there eating peanuts just watching
Yeah.
them." I was like,
Yeah.
"I want to have fun too." Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely a thing. Yeah. And no, it is he did it. He did it. What a
He did
guy.
it.
Shout
He
out to
did it.
Walt.
What a guy. Walt. Love
He
him.
gone. He's gone, but not in our hearts. So that's that. That's what we
That's
love
great.
about Disney World. You have any final
Love it.
thoughts, Mike, before we and we'll get into dining in the future. We're going to get into park strategies.
Yes.
This is just the tip of the iceberg, people. And we'll have some other
This is
guests
it.
on too. I'll talk to my sister. I'll talk to other people who love Disney. And Mike, if we have others who are just Disney fans. You get to know, like, I have a friend whose name is also Steve. I went to high school with. You would never suspect, like, I don't know, he's a normal guy, whatever, like us, but
Yeah.
I didn't. He has a little kid, but this is before he had kids. I would see like his likes on social media. He's liking all this like niche Disney stuff. And the next time I saw him, I was like, "Are you like a Disney fan?" He's like, "It's my biggest thing. I love it so much." I was like,
Yeah.
"What? Really?" I was like, "Me too." but these people come out of the woodwork. Once you start talking about Disney, it's like there's so many people.
It's
So
so
anyway,
crazy.
we'll talk to some other people as well. But
I can't wait. And I love that anecdote because that literally just happened to me this week on a
see,
business trip. I was talking to coworkers and like, hey, do you guys go to Disney? It's like four different people were like, yeah, I go. I went last weekend with my kids. I was like,
oh my god,
whoa, like, all right, I opened a can of worms here, but it's so true. Like there's like closet Disney people, and then when you start talking about it, you get into all these like cool stories. So,
totally.
um,
People
just in general, there's so many things to love. I'm glad we went through our top five here. And I'm super excited to continue the pod and talk about Disney more
That's
and more and more.
me too. It's nothing I like talking about more. Well, if you're ready to book, I'm ready to book. You ready to book, Mike? Well, you're planning to go, right? In like next year, right?
Yeah, so we've penciled in some
Mm.
dates. I think I don't want to reveal dates and
Okay.
names
Oh,
on the
please,
pod.
please, please.
But I think, it'd be really cool if we did a live
Mm.
travel agent episode where you, my friend,
Oh,
helped plan the Magic Mike family
oh, I
vacation,
love it.
Disney vacation. So
Magic Mike and fam.
yeah.
You'll bring the wife on too, our old
Uh,
buddy.
I'll try to convince her. She's a little podcast shy,
Oh,
but maybe
come
we can get her to
on.
come on.
She's
We'll make
natural.
her do a
That's
lightning lane
right.
round.
She would love it.
She's got some good takes. She's got some hot takes as well.
Yeah.
But I think we can make it happen
I think she's into it for different reasons too. I think
for sure.
she'd be a good. Yeah, no, I would love to do that. Give people a sense of like what the story is with doing this. So, no, that's
That's
coming up.
awesome.
That's coming down the
Can't wait.
pipeline. All right. Well, stay tuned, everybody. Subscribe, and we'll be back
Yes.
soon. All right, Mike, you want to take us out?
Awesome.
Shout out to Disney World.
Shout out to Disney. Love it. Can't wait to talk more.
All
See you
right.
soon, guys.
Peace out.